Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. Here to bring in a new what if called, What If The Maximals Crashed Landed in Remnant Part 1. Link down description of the fanfiction of this what if. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this is not a scam. Chapter 1. Beast Wars Part 1. Space. Space is always quiet even above the world of Remnant, but today that peace was disappearing, when space it itself was rippling and from the ripple there was a large flash and after the flash out came two ships firing on each other. The first looked like the top of a trident with the front had a small head with two fangs-like fins pointing to it. The back had two fins coming from the side that went far behind the ship and the small head from the front continued to near the end of the fins. The other ship that was chasing the first ship had a large back with a section on each side that looked like they could move inside the ship. It even had what looked like a skirt on the bottom in the front. As you moved from the back to the front you could see that things got smaller, with serval guns on the front. There were many poles sticking out from the ship as well. As the ships flew through space, they were exchanging fire with each other as they flew to the nearby planet with a broken moon in orbit. Meanwhile with the ships the second ship wasn't doing too well as it was getting hit hard. Hull break in Sector 7. Guidance systems failing, said a young voice from inside the ship. Meanwhile the rest of the crew weren't doing that good either. At a console a bronze and silver looking robot wasn't happy about anything. "Oh man, this is ridiculous. We're an exploration ship, not a battle cruiser," said the robot as he tried to control the ship as the best he could. Meanwhile in the center of the room the captain of the ship answered his crewmate. "No choice. Our ship was the only one that could lock onto Megatron's wrap signature," said the captain while the ship rocked back and forth from the battle. Meanwhile the youngest member had more bad news to give. "Shields are doing a major fade," said the youngest of the group as the screen in front of him was flashing red with a picture of the ship on. Knowing he had to act fast the captain gave out more orders. "Plasma cannons to full power," ordered the captain and a robot with a green hand pulled down a lever near him. Meanwhile on the other ship they saw how much damage the chasing ship had. "Their shields are down. Destroy them," cried a gruff voice from inside the side. Inside a robot with a purple head and red eyes looked at the robot who said it. "Now where's the fun in that? A little torment I say first." "Yes. Side guns," said the leader as his ship flew beside the other ship. Front the top of the ship 4 guns came out and blast the other ship so badly that it started to fall to the planet below. "Rupture. The stasis hold is failing," said the youngest young. Meanwhile the last member of the crew had something to add to that. "We're going down," said the last member who had a green head with gold trimming and red eyes. Meanwhile the captain thought about their situation and made a call. "Launch all pods. Get them into safe orbit," ordered the captain as back of the ship opened up and dozens of pods flew out and hanged in the orbit around the planet. The captain knew it was a risk leaving them out there, but he knew they would be safer out there than with them. Seeing that the pods were safe the captain turned his attention to the enemy before them. "All plasma cannons fire," ordered the captain as the ship turned around to face the other ship. Fire blast after blast onto it. The force of the blasts caused the other ship to lose control and fall to the planet below as well. As they fell the Trident ship lost one of its fins and as two ships went in different directions, the Trident on heading for a large landmass while the other was heading for a small island. Little did the two crews know was that this world was inhabited. Remnant, Vale, Patch. The island of Patch was located west of the Kingdom of Vale. Even though it was an island it was a thriving place due to Signal Academy. Right now it was night there and many were getting ready for bed or already in bed, but one place was very alive. This was the Xiaolong Rose house, and the oldest daughter of the house was having a party with her friends for graduating from Signal Academy. Everyone was having fun except for the youngest of the house. She was currently sitting on the roof of her house watching the stars. She had black and red hair and had silver eyes. She was wearing a shirt with red trimming and a black blouse. She also had a black corset with red lacing and the most interesting thing about her was her red clock she was wearing. This was Ruby Rose and right now she was sad. In a few months her sister Yang was going to Beacon and was leaving her behind. Sure she had others friends but her sister filled such a large part of her life she didn't want her to go. Not wanting to think about anymore she decided to head back inside, but as she got up she heard a noise. Looking around Ruby then saw a fireball in the sky. Shocked by this, she could only watch as it landed a fair bit away from her place. Then Ruby felt the shockwave from the fireball landing. The force was so strong it made Ruby fall over. Wondering what happened, Ruby rushed inside and saw that everyone was still partying as if they didn't feel anything. Walking over to her sister, Ruby found her drinking. Ruby's sister Yang had long blonde hair and lilac eyes. She was currently wearing a tan vest with gold piping over a yellow low-cut crop top. On the top there was picture that looks like a burning heart. She also had on black short and a brown belt that had a pouch and banner attached to it. Yang, didn't you feel the ground move just now? Asked Ruby as her sister looked at her, before laughing. Yes sis, cause this is one great party. Replied Yang without a care for the world, before returning to her drink. Hearing that, Ruby just left the party and headed to her room. Once in, Ruby started to pack her bag with what she needed and got out Crescent Rose. Well, if Yang doesn't care, then I'll find out what that fireball is tomorrow, thought Ruby as she then went to bed. Little did she know that going after that fireball was going to change her life forever. Next day. The next morning, Ruby's alarm went off and she quickly got out of bed and dressed. She then grabbed her stuff and slowly went past the living room where Yang had her party the other night. Looking inside, Ruby saw everyone passed out all over the place. Looking around the room, Ruby finally saw Yang asleep on a table. Seeing she was still asleep, Ruby left the house, but if she looked back at the house, she would have seen Yang watching her through a window. Where are you going, Ruby? Yang asked herself as she would have followed her, but with all her friends here she couldn't just up and leave. Meanwhile, at the Axelon, one of the ships that fell the night before, one could see that the ship was probably never going to fly again because it was caught between two rocks and was over a river. The only reason it hadn't fallen in was because of a ledge keeping the front of the ship up and stable. Damage report. Requested the captain as he and the others woke up from their crash. Believe me, you don't want to know. Replied the youngest member of the crew. That what I thought, was all the captain said. Oh. Vacu, dark side. Meanwhile, over at the dark side, its crew wasn't doing any better. The ship landed in the middle of a lava field and the middle of the ship was sticking up somewhat and its remaining wing had a stone pillar going through it. In the end, this ship was never going to fly again. Navigation, is this the right planet? Asked the captain to the computer system terminal that was in front of him as he sat alone in a room. Unknown. Course setting were accurate, but readings are inconsistent for those for expected destination. Replied the computer, but the captain didn't care about that. Never mind that. Tell me there is Energon here. Said the captain as clenched he hand as terminal showed the world they were on. Confirmed. However, scans had also picked up an unknown signature similar to that of Energon. Answered the computer said. Yes, the planet has Energon. Said the captain happily, not caring about the other thing, but before he could do anything else the computer spoke up again. Too much Energon. Field readings are off the scale. Continued exposure to robotic form will result in permanent damage. Said the computer as it showed the results to the captain. Hearing this, the captain slammed his fist down into the chair in anger, but then he got an idea. Then we will create alternate forms, based on the most powerful local creatures. Said the captain, but was still mad that he had to go through all this trouble. Meanwhile, the crew member got everything ready. Scanners activated. Said the crew member with a weird laugh as he started the system. Meanwhile, above the dark side a probe was launched. Soon the probe emitted two purple fields scanning the nearby area. As it scanned, it picked the fossil remains of the T-Rex, Velociraptor, and a pterodactyl. On the screen in front of the crew member it showed the fossils, but like how they were when they were alive. Meanwhile, the scans also picked up a wasp that was fighting with a spider. Finally, the scanner passed over a death stalker that was walking nearby. Oh. Vale, Patch, Axelon. Meanwhile, at the Axelon its crew were doing the same thing as four orange fields shot out the ship. The fields passed over three faunas who were still asleep, with them being a gorilla, rhino, and a cheetah. Back at the ship, the images of the animal aspect of the three appeared on the screen. Meanwhile, the field then passed over a rat that was eating something on the ground. Soon the fields went back to the Alexan. Scanning and replication of local life forms complete. You may emerge, said one of the crew members. Inside the side a cheetah was stretching as it started to look at itself. Hey, look at me, I'm a cheetah. said the youngest of the crew as he walks over to a silver chamber to get a better look at himself. No, I'm Cheater, said the newly named Cheater. Meanwhile inside the chamber the captain was still getting his alt form together. Interesting, said the captain as he waited to be done. Interesting, said Cheater as he growled before continuing, Optimus, the word is spot on smooth. It's a crime, as he looked at himself and laughed. Then from behind the chamber came a giant rat. A bit tacky, you never had taste, did you, kid? Now this is what class is all about. Call me Rattrap, said the newly dubbed Rattrap as he walks over to Cheater and presented himself to him. Oh yeah, how about, I cut mices to pieces, said Cheater as he got ready to pounce, but a stomping sound stopped him as a rhino walked over to them. Ease back, Cheater, living large is for forms like me, Rhinox, said Rhinox as he stopped the two from fighting. Yeah, and just consider yourself lucky I didn't get rough on you, said Rattrap acting tough. Then the door to the chamber opened up. Moderate your conflict circuits, Maximals. Remember these beast forms are to protect us from the long-term effects of the Energon fields out there, said Optimus as he checked out his new gorilla body and walked out of the chamber. We may need Energon for power, but this is too much of a good thing, said Optimus as he walked over to a window as the other watched him. Our robot forms will start to short after a few minutes exposure, and let's not forget scanners picked up something that has similar properties to Energon out there. This is one unusual planet, whatever it is. Or whenever, said Rhinox as the others looked at him. The trans-wrap drive can go through space and time. We were locked onto Megatron's trans-wrap signature, we could be anyplace, anytime, explained Rhinox as Optimus looked at him with worry. Yes, and our crew are orbiting this planet in those stasis pods we lost in battle. They're protected from the Energon, but it means Megatron has us outnumbered, stated Optimus with a grim look. Oh. Vacu, Darkside. Meanwhile back at the Darkside everyone was outside in their new beast modes exploring the area. While the others were looking around, a Velociraptor walked out of the ship holding a golden disc in its hands. No. It's all wrong, this cannot be Earth, said the Velociraptor as he turned around to look into the ship. Megatron, you failed. Not only did you fail to destroy the Maximals when you had the chance, you failed to bring us to the right planet. We stole the golden disc for nothing, you idiot, yelled the Velociraptor as it throws the disc into the ship. I beg your pardon, what did you call me? Said Megatron as he walked out of the ship. His beast mode was a purple T-Rex. You heard, you are an idiot and an incompetent leader and I'm taking over. Dinobot terrorize, cried Dinobot as he transformed into robot mode. In robot form his legs became his arms with 3 fingers on top and 2 on the bottom. His raptor head was now on his chest. His head blew and it looked like he was wearing a drown helmet and had red eyes. He then brought out a spinning blade and a spinning shield as he faced Megatron. I challenge you to battle, Megatron. The winner shall lead the Predacons and the loser shall be destroyed, said Dinobot with full conviction that he would win. Ah, you're so impulsive, Dinobot. Brave, but misguided, said Megatron as he started to walk away from Dinobot. Do you accept my challenge? Demanded Dinobot. There's more to being a leader than simple courage. Well, there's cleverness, and cunning as well. Isn't that right, Scorponic? Said Megatron as he walked to the side to reveal Scorponic aiming at Dinobot. Scorponic's robot form looked like a blue scorpion shell surrounding his body and he had claws for hands. He had a scorpion tail attracted to his back. His head had a single yellow visor and fangs on the sides of his mouth. Before Dinobot knew what happened, Scorponic fired 2 missiles from his claw hands. The missiles hit Dinobot, but instead of exploding they sent Dinobot flying away. Before anyone could blink, Dinobot was gone. Loser. What does it matter what planet we are on? We came looking for Energon and this planet is rich with the element and maybe even few useful surprises for us. Either way there is then enough Energon to power Predacon's entire galactic conquest. Now only the Maximals could give us problems now, if they survive the crash, said Megatron as he walked out of the ship. Soon all his loyal men were in front of him. Flyers, go and find out if the Maximals have survived crash or not. Also report any useful findings about this world. Meanwhile the rest of you will build a ground bridge, ordered Megatron as the flyer took to the air and went different directions. Meanwhile the rest of them went back inside the ship to get the tools they needed. Oh. Vale, Patch, Axelon. Back at the Axelon the crew were dealing with the damages to their ship. Optimus and Rhinox were outside looking at the broken pieces, seeing what could be salvaged and what was just junk. Soon a hatch opened from the ship and lowered a platform that had Rattrap on it, who was carrying more junk. All this for a golden disc. Whined Rattrap as they tossed more junk with the rest of the stuff. Meanwhile Optimus was surveying the land before addressing Rattrap. It was Cybertron's most carefully guarded relic. Rattrap. It gave the location of a major Energon source, that's why Megatron stole it. Said Optimus, hoping that it would shut Rattrap up for a while. Yeah, like I care. You know we were supposed to do deep space exploration. Playing Galactic Patrol was nowhere in my job description, you know what I'm saying. You sure you're cut out for this commander gig? Said Rattrap as he leaned against the lift system that the platform uses. Remember the Great War, Rattrap. If the Predacons get enough Energon they'll start it again. We can't let that happen. Said Optimus with determination in his voice. Besides, you wanted exploration and here we are on an unknown planet, what more do you want? Said Optimus, trying to lighten the mood. Well, call me picky, but a working escape craft would be nice. Said Rattrap. Just no pleasing some people. Said Optimus as he shook his head. Meanwhile Cheater came out of the ship using the other lift on the other side of the ship. When he was near the ground he jumped out and over toward Optimus. Hey, what are those things? Asked Cheater as he spotted some black creatures with a white head and white bones sticking out for their bodies. They had long arms, and some were walking on all fours while others were walking on their hind legs. The most interesting things about them were that they had red eyes. Those are interesting creatures, but the way they're looking at us makes me worried. Said Optimus as he took a step towards them, but as soon as he did that the creatures started to walk away from them. Well, they're not a problem now. Said Rattrap as he watched the creatures leave. Either way it might be beneficial that we study them one day. Said Optimus as he was going to return to helping Rhinox. Why did it latter when we could do it now? Said Cheater as he took off after the pack. Optimus then turned around to see him running away. Cheater, no! Yelled Optimus, but Cheater was too far away to hear him. The creatures saw Cheater coming at them and all of them got onto all four and ran away. Seeing this, Cheater followed them across a stone bridge. Seeing this made Optimus get frustrated with the youngest member of his crew. Cheater, return to base it immediately. We don't have time for this. Ordered Optimus as he hit the left side of his chest to activate his commutations. All he got in response was static from his radio. All the while Cheater was getting more and more out of sight. No good, the Energon fields mess up the comm links. Anything over 100 meters they ain't work scrap. Explained Rhinox, just adding to the problems Optimus was dealing with. Well, that's just prime. Said Optimus as he looked over at Rhinox. So, this your first day on the job or what? Said Rattrap, causing Optimus to give him an annoyed look. Shut up, Rattrap. Said Optimus as Rattrap just stood up and saluted him. Oh yes sir. You know I feel heaps better knowing our lives are in your capable hands. We're all going to die. Said Rattrap as he slumped down. Oh. Vale, talk, Ruby's location. Meanwhile Ruby had spent the better part of the morning looking for the fireball that she saw last night and was starting to think that she would never find out what it was. I guess I better head home. Thought Ruby as she started to head home, only to stop when she heard something. Looking around she saw a pack of Beowulfs coming her way. Acting fast, Ruby brought out Crescent Rose in sniper mode and started firing on the Beowulfs. The weird thing about this pack was that they still were running straight like they were afraid of something. Not dwelling on it, Ruby then switched Crescent Rose into Scythe mode and cut through the remaining Grim like they were nothing. Wow, that was amazing, said somebody behind Ruby. Hearing this, Ruby turned around and saw a cheetah looking at her. Not thinking it was the cheetah talking to her, she looked to see if anyone else was around. That was cool how your weapon went from a gun to a scythe like that. How'd you do that? Asked the cheetah, causing Ruby to look at him funny. Are you talking to me? Asked Ruby in disbelief, hoping she was hearing things. Yeah, you see anyone else here? The name's Cheater, said Cheater, causing Ruby to blink and stare at him. Finally, Ruby said something to him. Hi, I'm Ruby, said Ruby as Cheater just smiled at her. Cool, "Hey Ruby, where you get that cool weapon from?" asked Cheater, causing Ruby to snap out of her stupor and beam about her weapon. "Well, I made Crescent Rose myself. It's a scythe and a high-impact rifle," exampled Ruby as she swung her weapon in scythe mode. "Cool," said Cheater as he stared at the awesome weapon before him. But before either could say anything else, they heard a buzzing noise coming closer to them. Looking around, they finally saw a giant wasp flying their way. "What the?" cried Ruby as she got Crescent Rose in sniper mode and aimed at the wasp. "Hey, what? It's just a big bug," said Cheater, not understanding why Ruby was aiming at it. "But bugs don't grow that big. It's unnatural," explained Ruby as Cheater realized what it was. "If we're talking unnatural, then we're just talking about one thing. Robot in disguise. Cheater maximize," yelled Cheater as he flipped through the air and transformed. Now in robot mode, Cheater was now gold and blue with his cheetah head now on his chest. His two front legs were now crossed behind his upper back, his head was blue and had a gold helmet with two fins going up on either side. Seeing this shocked Ruby, mostly because she has never seen anything like it before and mostly because of the gun he was now holding. It looked so cool and she wanted to take it from him and see how it worked. "Time for this cat to pounce," said Cheater as he fired at the wasp. Seeing what the gun did made Ruby fangirl scream, wanting to look at it even more. Meanwhile, the wasp dodged each shot. Soon the wasp had enough of it. "Waspinator under attack. Waspinator engage enemy. Waspinator terrorize," cried Waspinator as he transformed into robot mode. His wasp head spilt vertically and became his upper torso with his wings behind his back. His stinger became his legs, while his arms looked human-shaped but had insect-type limbs on the lower part of them. His head looked like a human's, but his eyes were insect-like and his jaw spilt down the middle. Seeing this, Ruby could only look on in shock. After all, she just met two transforming robots in a matter of minutes. Unfortunately, Waspinator saw this as a chance and started to fire at her with his gun that fire explosive darts at her. Ruby failed to see them coming, but before they could hit, Cheater tackled her out of the way. Looking up, Ruby saw Cheater giving her a worried look. "Less quaking and more running," said Cheater as they both got up just as Waspinator fired more at them. Seeing a chance, Ruby fired at Waspinator with Crescent Rose. The blast sent Waspinator to the ground as he tried to figure out what happened. Meanwhile, Ruby caught up with Cheater, not wanting to see what else Waspinator could do. Meanwhile, Waspinator got up and looked at the area where he was shot. "What hit Waspinator?" wondered Waspinator as he got up again. "Waspinator must report to Megatron at once," stated Waspinator as contacted Megatron and resumed the chase. Meanwhile, with the other Maximals, they saw and heard the explosions in the distance. Knowing that nothing good could come from it, Rattrap said the first things that came to his mind. "Uh-oh," was he could say before Optimus, who was riding Rhinox, grabbed Rattrap and raced over to Cheater location. Meanwhile, Cheater and Ruby were dodging Waspinator fire and returning fire, but Waspinator just flew away from each blast. Waspinator continued to fire on the two with his dart gun and laser eyes, forcing the two to run. Meanwhile, the others just crossed the bridge and were getting closer to the two. They all knew they had to hurry or else something bad could happen to Cheater. Unfortunately for them, there was a wall of rocks ahead of them. "Hey, heads up, roadblock," yelled Rattrap as he hid behind Optimus for more protection. "Veer left. There's a clearing about 100 meters," said Optimus, but Rhinox continued on. Fearing the worst, Optimus and Rattrap braced themselves, only to have Rhinox run right through the rocks. "Ah yes, silly me," said Optimus as they continued on. At the same time, it wasn't looking good for Cheater and Ruby as the two of them were running up a hill with Waspinator right behind them. Right as they got to the top, a blast hit near them, sending them flying behind a boulder in a small canyon. Unfortunately for Cheater, his gun started to act up. "Of all the times for a quasar jam," cried Cheater as he tried to fix his gun, only for Ruby to take it from him. "Hey, what are you doing?" asked Cheater, only to be shocked to see Ruby already working on his gun and fixing it. "Listen, I know my weapon, so give me a bit and I'll fix it for you," said Ruby as Cheater looked on in shock. Luckily for them, the cavalry arrived. "Cheater, get to cover. We'll swat that pesky Predacon," said Optimus from atop for the hill in front of them. "Oh, I would not count on that, Maximals. No, for I believe you will soon to have, how should I put it, difficulties of your own." "Yes," said Megatron from the other side of the canyon with the other Predacons with him. Trying to avoid a fight, Optimus decided to reason with Megatron. We don't have to do this, Megatron. There has been peace between the Maximals and Predacons for centuries. Why start this up again? Asked Optimus, hoping to avoid a battle. Peace perhaps on your side, Maximal scum, yes, but not on ours. Permit me to inform you that an enemy that appears to be peaceful, may in fact be biding its time. Said Megatron as Ruby was still working on Cheater gun as Cheater watched what the Predacons were doing. We Predacons never abandoned our rightful goal of galactic conquest, no, we have merely been waiting for the right moment to strike. Said Megatron as Ruby fixed Cheater gun and tossed it back to him. You mean like this? Yelled Cheater as he turned away for his cover and fired at Megatron, hitting him straight in the jaw. Cheater! Yelled Optimus with worry, mostly because that could have ended any chance for a peaceful outcome. A treacherous, underhanded sneak attack. I like you, pussycat. Yes, said Megatron as he chuckled, mostly because he never thought a Maximal would fire first. But it shall avail you not. New. For now the power gauntlet has been cast. Predacons terrorize, said Megatron as his men got ready for battle. Meanwhile Optimus knew he had no choice now. Do it. Maximize. Ordered Optimus as his crew got ready. Meanwhile with Ruby, she was wondering what she got herself into. As far as she knew, she had no way out and had to wait to see what would happen. Tarantulas terrorize. Cried Tarantulas, whose beast mode was a spider as he entered his robot form. He back became his main body and he had pinchers for hands and had his spider legs on his upper arms. His head had a single visor that was in the middle and he had a leg like lips for a mouth. Rhinox maximize, said Rhinox as he transformed into a green robot mode. His head split in two and the top part went to his back while his lower jaw became his chest, his front legs became his arms while his back legs became his legs. His head looked like a human's and he had a bronze yellow jaw. His eyes were black and red, but at the same time they showed not malice but caring instead. Scorponic terrorize, yelled Scorponic as he entered his robot form and got claw missile launchers ready. Rattrap maximize, cried Rattrap as he transformed into a silver and bronze robot. His rat head became his chest and the rest of his rat form was behind his back. His head was bronze except for the top, which was silver. His eyes were red and if you looked in his mouth you would see that he had two buck teeth. Terrorsaur terrorize, cried Terrorsaur, who was a red pterodactyl change into a red and gray robot. His tail became his chest and his wing then fold and turned into arm guards. Megatron terrorize, said Megatron as he transformed into his robot form. His T-Rex head became his right hand and his tail became a spear-like object on his other hand. His Dino legs were still his legs but now had a metallic back heel supporting them. His helmet was a metallic gray while his face was purple and he had two burning red eyes. Optimus Primal maximize, said Optimus as he turned into a gray, white, red robot. His ape head folded into his chest to show a metallic chest. His upper arms folded up to form shoulder guards, while his lower arms remained the same. The lower body did a 180 to reveal robotic-looking legs. And his head gray while his robot face plate was dark gray, however he had a white mouth guard that could open and close to show his mouth. His eyes were red, they show he would fight, but only as a last resort. Meanwhile Ruby was looking back and forth between the two sides. On one hand she was scared silly, not sure what to do. Should she stay and hit or make a break for it? But on the other hand she wanted to see their weapons, but was it worth it? Unfortunately for Ruby she lost her window to get out safely and had to wait for another chance to make a break for it. Now obliterate them. Order Megatron as he and his men fired on the Maximals. Terrorsaur and Waspinator fired their guns from the air, while Scorponic fired his missiles. Tarantula's arm legs turned out to be machine guns, and finally Megatron T-Rex head was firing energy beams at the Maximals. Meanwhile the Maximals jumped for cover at the barrage of attacks coming their way. Rhinox and Rattrap dove behind one rock while Optimus did the same with another rock while firing a wrist-mounted cannon. While everyone was firing at each other, Ruby and Cheater took this as their chance to make a break for it. As they went up the hill toward the Maximals, Ruby was in front with Cheater behind her. When Ruby was about at the top, a blast hit right in front of Cheater, sending him back to his previous cover, and the shock wave from the fall made a large rock land on his left leg, trapping him. Looking back once she was the top, Ruby saw that Cheater was stuck and was about to go help him, until a hand grabbed her and pulled her away. She looked at who grabbed her, and Ruby saw it was Optimus who was looking at her. "Stay here, it's too dangerous to go out there," said Optimus as the Predacons continued to fire on them. Looking over at Rattrap, Optimus gave him an order. "Rattrap, help Cheater, we'll cover you," ordered Optimus as Rattrap looked like he lost it. "Yeah right," defined Rattrap as he refused to move from his cover. "That's an order, Rattrap," yelled Optimus, not wanting to deal with this right now. "Yeah, and you can just kiss my skid plate, fearless leader, 'cause I'm not going out there and getting a pelt punctured," yelled Rattrap as he still refused to follow orders. Meanwhile, Ruby knew she had to act fast, so before Optimus could say or do anything, he saw Rose Petal in his vision and looked down to see Ruby was gone. Looking around, he saw her running at incredible speeds toward Cheater. Unfortunately for Ruby, Megatron saw her too. "Unknown target on battlefield. Take it out," ordered Megatron as he and his men fired at Ruby. Luckily for her, she was moving too fast for them to get a good lock on her. Finally she reached Cheater and he was amazed at how fat she was. "Wow, how are you so fast?" asked Cheater as Ruby got Crescent Rose in scythe mode and cut the rock holding Cheater in half. "It's my semblance," answered Ruby as the two of them ran from where they were and towards the others. Seeing this, Rhinox grated Rattrap by his back and lifted him up. "Hey, let me down, you big bulldozer," complained Rattrap as Rhinox just brought him closer. "Cover fire they need, we give it now," said Rhinox as he stood up and turned to face the enemy. Soon both of them were firing at Predacons, with Optimus doing the same. Their shots were all over the place, but it did its job in stopping the Predacons from firing at Ruby and Cheater. Soon the two of them made it to the top and continued to running. Back to the base. Let's go, ordered Optimus as he soon followed Ruby and Cheater, with Rhinox and Rattrap following, giving covering fire. "After them, go you foe," said Megatron before his body started to glow blue and he fell over in pain. The same thing was happening to his men as they all couldn't move properly. Both Waspinator and Pterosaur fell out of the sky. "Waspinator cannot move," said Waspinator in pain as he lay on the ground in pain. "Energon field build up. Convert back to beast mode," said Megatron as he transformed back into a T-Rex. He knew that for now he had to let the Maximals go, but he will be after them soon. Vale, Patch, Maximals location. Meanwhile, with the Maximals, all of whom were in beast mode, and Ruby, they were heading back to base. Optimus and Ruby were on top Rhinox while Rattrap was walking beside him. Then all of a sudden Optimus grabbed Rattrap by the back of his neck and brought him to his face. "Hey, what's got your servos so bent?" said Rattrap as Ruby looked to see what was happening. "Let's get one thing straight, Rattrap. I'm commander of this group, and when I give an order I expect it to be obeyed," said Optimus rather angrily as Ruby watched on, wondering what was going to happen. "Oh yeah, so I get vaped 'cause you're too chicken to go yourself," countered Rattrap. "I will not give an order that I won't be willing to do myself. But I was able to give you better cover fire, you were not. And because of your actions, young miss, what was your name?" asked Optimus, a little sheepish for not knowing Ruby's name. "It's Ruby Rose, Optimus," answered Ruby as Optimus gave her a nod. "Rattrap, could you live with yourself if Ruby here got shot or worse?" asked Optimus as Rattrap looked at Ruby for a bit before answering. "What are you shorting about? We got out of there, didn't we?" asked Rattrap, making both Optimus and Ruby annoyed with the answer. "Yes, but damaged. It will take time for our beast forms to effect internal repairs," said Optimus as Ruby finally asked a question that's been on her mind for a while now. "Can you tell me what's going on?" asked Ruby as Optimus just looked her, debating if he should or not, as he finally made up his mind. The short version is we're a race of robots from a planet called Cybertron. Me and my crew were explorers, but we were the only ones able to catch some thieves who stole a valuable artifact from our world. We both crashed on this world and now we're stuck here," said Optimus as Ruby took everything in. Soon Cheater rejoined the group and gave his report. "I think we gave them the fade, Optimus," said Cheater as he walked beside the group. "Keep your sensor on full." According to the Golden Disc Thief report, there were 6 Predacons, one of them was missing from the battle, said Optimus as the group continued on. "Well, maybe he was destroyed in the crash," Suggested Rattrap. Or maybe left to guard their base. Offered Ruby, hoping to be of some help. That kind of luck we haven't been getting much of lately. Said Rhinox, bring their hopes down. Tell me about it. Look, said Cheater as the group saw Dinobot standing on the bridge in front of them. The group slowly approached him and everyone got off of Rhinox. Should we blast him? Asked Rhinox, unsure of what to do. Keep that option open, but hang on. Said Optimus as he walked forward to Dinobot. Attention Maximals, my name is Dinobot, I have left the Predacons to join your group as leader. Said Dinobot, shocking the others. What, did I hear the word leader? Asked Cheater as he looked at Ruby for answers. He did, said Ruby, just as shocked as Cheater. This guy got bearings of chrome steel. Said Rhinox as he looked at Rattrap, who agreed with him. I hereby challenge you Optimus Primal to a one-on-one battle. The winner shall lead the Maximals and the loser shall be destroyed. Said Dinobot as the two faced each other on the bridge. Meanwhile, Ruby was starting to wish she never went looking for that fireball now, because she feels that she is way out of her league right now. But she knew that there was no going back now. She only wished she knew what could happen now. Chapter 2. Beast Wars Part 2. Vale, Patch, Axelon. After Dinobot's announcement, all the Maximals and Ruby on the sidelines were just watching both Optimus and Dinobot. Meanwhile, Optimus slowly walked towards Dinobot as Dinobot did the same. Face me Optimus. I Dinobot challenge you for leadership of the Maximals. Said Dinobot as Optimus got a serious look on his face. You and I, one-on-one, the winner shall be leader and the loser. Dinobot then just looked down the bridge they were standing on. Well, it is a long way down. Said Dinobot as Optimus got the message. I don't want to fight you. Stated Optimus, hoping they could avoid fight. Unfortunately for Optimus, Dinobot did not feel the same way. You have no choice. Your command center is back there, and no one may cross this bridge until you face me. Stated Dinobot with steel and determination in his voice as the two eyed each other. Meanwhile, the others weren't about to let their voices on the matter go to waste. Don't we get a say in this? Asked Rhinox. Let Chopper Face and the boss monkey duke it. Said Rattrap as he patted Rhinox's side. Ain't no fur off of my tail. Meanwhile, Cheater was about to say something until he saw the look on Ruby's face and decided to check up on her. Ruby, everything okay? Asked Cheater. Ruby then looked at the Cheater with a blank face, before she smiled a little. Everything is changing so fast, Cheater. After all, just this morning I was looking for a fireball crash and now I'm in a robot civil war. Stated Ruby as Cheater just rubbed up against her to calm her down a little. Hey, I know it's a lot to take in, but we'll help you out the best we can. Said Cheater as Ruby smiled a little at him and started to pet his head. Thanks, Cheater, you're the best. Said Ruby as Cheater just purred at the petting. Meanwhile, back with Optimus and Dinobot, Optimus was getting frustrated with the whole ordeal. This is foolish, Dinobot, we're Maximals, you are a Predacon. Stated Optimus, getting tired with the whole thing. All the more reason I should lead them. Replied Dinobot, giving him his logic. Look, I don't know what happened between you and Megatron. Started Optimus, only to be cut off by Dinobot. Megatron will fall as soon as I have your Maximals and maybe that local with them at my command. Said Dinobot with a grin on his face. You are welcome to join us, but you shall not lead. Said Optimus as he pointed at Dinobot. I beg to differ, for in anticipation for my new role of leader, I have already reprogrammed my activation code. Dinobot maximize. Said Dinobot as he transformed into robot mode and brought out his shield and sword. Knowing he had no choice, Optimus did the same thing. Optimus Primal maximize. Said Optimus as he transformed as well and brought out two machetes from his back. Dinobot then approached Optimus with his weapons at the ready while Optimus stayed in a defensive stance. Dinobot tried to spook Optimus with some fancy sword play, but Optimus just stood his ground. Meanwhile, the others just watched on until Cheater had enough. I'm going in there. Cheater, said Cheater, only for Rattrap to grab hold of his mouth to stop him. Clamp it, kitty, nailing the chopper from behind won't settle anything. Said Rattrap as he tried to calm Cheater down. Rhinox then looked over at the three. Yeah, like it or not, we got to let them finish. Said Rhinox as he looked back to the fight, while Rattrap got off Cheater. Cheater then looked at Ruby for some help. Seeing him look at her, Ruby then gave her opinion. He wouldn't be your leader if he didn't have skills, right, Cheater, so we just going to have to hope that he can handle things. Said Ruby as Cheater thought about it for a bit. I guess you're right, but doesn't mean I'm going to like it. Said Cheater with a frown as the two watched the fight in front of them. Meanwhile Dinobot charged at Optimus, but Optimus flipped Dinobot over him. Dinobot fumbled on the ground and his spinning shield got caught on the bridge, jamming it. Seeing this, both Ruby and Cheater smiled, but Dinobot got up and started to somersault over to Optimus before jumping up high and then dived down at Optimus' shield first. When he connected, it sent Optimus to the ground and some of the bridge down as well. Optimus then got up and with a determined look of his face, while Dinobot had a look of joy on his as he raised his sword to finish him off. Seeing this, Optimus then gave Dinobot a hard left knuckle. The force of the blow disoriented Dinobot so bad that he fell down. Optimus then put one of his machetes under Dinobot's head. Ruby thought that Optimus was going to kill him but was surprised when he didn't move. I still live, finish it. Said Dinobot as Optimus put one of his machetes away. That's not how we Maximals do things. Said Optimus as he offered a hand to Dinobot. Meanwhile Ruby couldn't believe what she saw. Here was Dinobot trying to kill Optimus, but Optimus was giving Dinobot a helping hand. If it was her, she might have killed him and got it over with. Wow. To offer a hand to your enemy. Optimus is something else, thought Ruby in awe as she watched on. Then, that will have to change, said Dinobot as his eyes turned green and shot lasers out of them. The shot blinded Optimus as he stumbled backwards and toward the edge of the bridge. As Optimus reached the edge, he couldn't control himself as he tried to regain balance. Meanwhile Ruby hugged Cheater close to her as she watched on, thinking Optimus would die. Meanwhile Optimus couldn't gain his balance and fell over the edge, but luckily for him his legs caught the edge of the bridge, saving his life. But before Optimus could get up, Dinobot was standing over him. The others thought it was going to be the end for Optimus, but then Dinobot did something no one expected. He grabbed Optimus and pulled him up. Optimus then gathered himself and started to pull himself up. What are you doing? You'd won, asked Optimus, trying to understand what happened. You'd slipped. To defeat you in such a manner would be lacking in honor. I would have not earned the right to lead, said Dinobot, shocking the others hearing this. Ruby was amazed to hear this. The other Predacons she meant seemed to only care about winning any way they could. But Dinobot had a code of honor that he followed. It made her think that Dinobot was someone you could trust, but at the same time you'd still watch him to be on the safe side. Unfortunately, the next thing Dinobot said made her rethink all that. I prefer to beat my opponents the old-fashioned way, brutally, said Dinobot as his sword spun faster and he charged at Optimus. Soon the two were trading blow for blow as neither one could get an advantage over the other. Soon both blades were locked and the two were face to face. For a Predacon, Dinobot, you have qualities I could like, said Optimus as he held strong. And you have proved to be a worthy adversary. I will have you recycled with full honors, said Dinobot. Well, that's just prime, said Optimus, unaware that their fight had more people watching them than either realized. Standing several miles away and out of view were the Predacons. They somehow followed the Maximals and saw the battle between Dinobot and Optimus. Each one of them enjoyed seeing the two beat each other up. Well, this is an interesting sight, yes. Optimus and the traitor Dinobot engaged in battle, said Megatron as he watched on. Who do you think going to win? Asked Scorponic, wanting his leader's option. Waspinator bet on Optimus, said Waspinator, giving his 2 cents. Tarantulas, however, didn't feel the same way as the others. The winner isn't what interests me, said Tarantulas as he then laughed and made weird sounds. Nor me, and no, said Megatron as he looked back at his men before looking forward once more. How much more preferable would it be if the both lost? Yes, said Megatron as he watches the two trying to overpower the other. Megatron terrorize, yelled Megatron as he transformed into robot mode. Soon the rest of his men followed suit and transformed as well as they got out their weapons and took aim at the bridge. Luckily for the Maximals, they heard the Predacon gears when they transformed and looked over in their direction. Yo, shift your scanners due east there, pals, this party got big time crashers, said Rattrap, and the other looked that way. Meanwhile Megatron and his men were ready to attack. Fire, ordered Megatron as they all fired missiles at the bridge. Cheater, being the first to react, yelled out to Optimus, Optimus, cried Cheater, causing Optimus to look and see the missiles heading his way. Acting fast, Optimus did the only things he could do. Beast mode, yelled Optimus as he transformed back into a gorilla. He then tackled himself and Dinobot off the bridge, causing the missiles to miss them. The others rushed to the edge to see if they could find them. Optimus, yelled both Cheater and Ruby as this started to look bad until they heard something. If you guys aren't doing anything, started Optimus as the other looked over and saw Optimus holding Dinobot by a leg and he was holding on the bridge with his foot, while the Predacons were firing at the bridge trying to knock them off. A little speed would be prime. Finished Optimus as the other started to act. Meanwhile the Predacons were firing at the bridge. Make them fall, yes, said Megatron, only to get hit in the crest by something. Looking at the bridge there was Ruby with Crescent Rose in sniper mode firing at the Predacons, but the weird thing was that there were rose petals in the air around her. Let's go, we can't have Ruby do everything. Cheater maximize, said Cheater as he transformed and raced over to help Ruby and Optimus. Rhinox maximize, said Rhinox as he transformed. He then saw that Rattrap hadn't done anything yet and tapped him on the head. Hey, you can go and get yourselves scraped cause I ain't, said Rattrap, only to be cut off as Rhinox picked him up by his neck and brought his to his eye level. Alright, said Rattrap as his transformed as well. Things were all over the place on the bridge. Ruby was sniping the Preds the best she could, but they continued to fire at the bridge and it got better with Cheater giving her a hand, but below them Optimus couldn't do anything with Dinobot in his hand and 1 foot on the bridge. And as things would have it, Dinobot was starting to suffer from Energon build-up. The Energon fields. I'm shorting out, cried out Dinobot in pain as the bridge chose that time to fall apart a bit. Hang on, you can't transform in this position, said Optimus, knowing that if Dinobot did they'd both would fall. Release me, let me fall and save yourself, said Dinobot, because he would never take anyone down with him like this due to his honor. But Optimus wouldn't let go. Now where's the honor in that? Countered Optimus as the part of the bridge he was holding was ready to fall apart. You have no choice, said Dinobot, but Optimus wouldn't hear it. Then we both go, said Optimus as the bridge fell, but before they could fall far something caught them. Looking up, Optimus saw it was Rhinox who caught them. Going up, said Rhinox as he lifted them to safety. Unfortunately, Megatron saw this as a chance. This is our opportunity, yes, all weapons. Order Megatron as the Predacons fired at will at the bridge. Seeing that the bridge was no longer a safe place to be, everyone started to run for the other side as fast as they could. Looking back, Rattrap saw that the bridge was breaking apart behind him. As he neared the end of the bridge collapsed under him and he started to fall. Only for Optimus to reach out and grab him and pull him to safety with the others. You're welcome, said Optimus, hoping that Rattrap would start to listen to him from now on. You're the leader, it's your job, replied Rattrap, causing Optimus to look away from him and check on the others. Meanwhile, Megatron was not happy about failing to finish off the Maximals and took it out on Pterosaur. Incompetence, you let them escape, said Megatron, ready to take this anger out on his men. He only stopped when Scorponic said something to him. Megatron, look up there, the missiles, cried Scorponic in a panic as he pointed to a nearby mountain. The missiles hit the mountain, revealing that it was filled with Energon. The glow from the Energon could be seen all over Patch, causing people to panic about what just happened. Megatron was thrilled at what those missiles dug up and what he could do with it. Energon, yes. Raw, natural, Energon crystal, said Megatron as he turned to Scorponic as he started to short out. I knew it was here, finished Megatron as he looked at the effects it was having on his body. Soon the others were feeling the effects as well. Quickly return to beast mode, ordered Megatron as he and the other went back to beast mode. Meanwhile, the Maximals, in beast mode, were looking at the Energon mountain with worry while Ruby looked at them confused. Why are you guys so worried? That just worthless dust, it does nothing at all, asked Ruby as the others looked at her funny as Optimus explained what that mountain really is. I don't know what dust is, but that's raw Energon. In its natural form it's highly unstable. We're lucky those missiles didn't cause it to explode, explained Optimus as Ruby looked at the Energon in shock and fear. Fearing what she was about to say, Ruby's voice was just above a whisper. How big could the explosion be? Ruby almost whispered, but the others heard her just fine. Depending on how much there is, it could just take the mountain or this entire island. Answered Rhinox, causing Ruby to shake in fear. Before anyone could say anything else, Cheater spoke up. Megatron on the move. Bearing 6175. Said Cheater as his eyes zoomed in on the Predacons. He's after the Energon, a crystal that size would make him unstoppable. Stated Dinobot, making Ruby shake even more. Oh, thanks for the hot tip, Scale Belly. Rhinox, scrap this guy. Said Ratrap as Rhinox looked over to Dinobot and was about to charge him, only for Optimus to stop him. Hold on, Rhinox. Said Optimus as he stopped Rhinox and turned to face Dinobot. Will he send flyers? Asked Optimus, wanting to know what he was dealing with. Ratrap couldn't believe what he just heard. For booting up cold. You're not going to believe a Predacon, or yeah? Asked Ratrap as he slumped down in disbelief. That's my call. Said Optimus as he turned to Dinobot. Will he? Dinobot thought for a moment before answering. Negative, the crystal is too big for the flyers to carry. Only Tarantulas has the skills to segment it. Answered Dinobot. Then we have to get there first. All 5 of us, said Optimus, not wanting to let Megatron gain so much power. Yeah, all 5 of us. Said Ratrap as he realized what Optimus said. Please tell me you're talking about taking Ruby with us. Asked Ratrap, hoping that's what Optimus meant. No, Dinobot is coming with us and Ruby is heading home. Said Optimus as Ratrap slumped down and said something about them all dying. Meanwhile, Ruby was brought out of her fear and looked at Optimus with a fire in her eyes. No, I'm coming with you. This is my home and I won't let them destroy it. Said Ruby as Optimus looked at her with worry in his eyes. No, it's too dangerous. You should just head home before you get any more involved. Said Optimus, not wanting to put Ruby in harm's way. But Ruby wasn't going to listen to him. My home is across the destroyed bridge and I'm already plenty involved. I've shot at them several times already and you don't know anything about my world. Countered Ruby as Optimus took a thinking pose. Optimus knew time was against them, but he knew that this was an important choice. On one hand, if he let Ruby join them, they would gain insight on this world and maybe a new ally. He saw what Ruby can do and was amazed at it. But on the other hand, he couldn't let someone so young fight in this war and possibly die. Making his mind up, Optimus looked at Ruby and gave his answer. Fine, you can join us, but you will follow my orders to the letter. If I tell you to run, you run. Understood. Said Optimus as Ruby nodded yes. They then set out to stop Megatron. Little did they know that the nearby town was getting ready to head to the same location. Oh. Vale, Patch. The town of Patch was in a panic right now. Everything was normal just a few minutes ago, but as soon as they saw that weird light in the distance, people started to panic. The people at Signal Academy were trying to calm people down and get a team out to find out what that light was. Unfortunately, they couldn't do both at the same time. So right now they were trying to calm the people down and hope that the Grim won't come due to the panic. Everyone was doing something but Yang, who was just looking off in the direction where her sister went, hoping she was okay. She knew she should have stopped her this morning, but she didn't, and now who know what was happening to her right now. Ruby, please be okay. Though Yang as she tried to call Ruby again. The number you are trying to reach is out of our reach. Please try again later, thank you. Said her scroll once more as she tried reaching Ruby again. Yang slammed her scroll down on the table and was really starting to worry. Still no word from your sister. Said someone from behind Yang. Spinning around, Yang saw her uncle Kiro standing there. Her uncle had graying black hair that was spiked and was wearing a gray dress shirt with a long tail and had a black dress pants and shoes. The thing that stood out the most for him was his red tattered cloak. Seeing her uncle, Yang could only lower her head. No, I can't reach her. What if she's in trouble? Said Yang as Kiro walked up to her and raised her head. Don't worry, your sister is a tough girl. I should know, I trained her, remember? Said Kiro, trying to lift her spurts. He then started to walk away before stopping at the door. Listen, we need all the help we can get calming people down. If you help out, I might let you come with us to investigate what that light is. After all, Ruby could be there for all we know. Said Kiro as he left to help out. Yang just stood there for a few moments, before she went and grabbed Ember Celica and went to join her uncle. Hang on Ruby, I'll be there soon. Thought Yang as she went to help out. Oh. Veil, Patch, Predacons location. Meanwhile the Predacons were rushing towards the mountain as fast as they could. So much Energon, with a crystal that size the Predacon forces would be unstoppable, yes. The Maximals and then the galaxy will be ours to conquer, said Megatron as he continued on to his prize. But what about the locals on this world? Asked Tarantulas, wondering what they should do about them. Megatron thought about it for a few moments before answering. They will either be good for a workforce to mine this world dry of Energon and anything like it, or they will be good for target practice, said Megatron as he started to laugh and was soon joined by the others. Oh. Veil, Patch, Maximals location. As the Maximals made their way to the Energon mountain, night had fallen, but it didn't stop them in the least as they walked along a ledge. Ruby was learning about the Maximals and Rhinox was asking questions about the world they were on. Ruby told them everything she could to the best of her knowledge about Remnant, its people, dust, and the Grim. She also explained to them that worthless dust was a dust that they couldn't get to work no matter what they tried, so it was mostly used as decoration. Currently Dinobot was asking Ruby about her weapon as Optimus and Rhinox were in the front of the group talking. How you feeling? Asked Rhinox, making sure there were no problems with Optimus. Improved. I believe my internal repairs have been completed, replied Optimus, not wanting to worry his old friend. I was wondering, your flying robot form could make it to the crystal before any of us, said Rhinox as he gave Optimus an idea. No, we have to stay together, the Predacons could attack at any moment. And we don't know anything about Theseus Grim yet, so we can't risk it, said Optimus as Rhinox looked at him. You know these Grim can't be natural life forms from what Ruby told us, said Rhinox as he thought about what Ruby told them. I agree, creatures that evaporate when killed and are attracted by negative emotions. And they have no idea how they are born as well, said Optimus as he looked back at Ruby, who was joking around with Cheater. Tell me, Rhinox, did I make the right call in letting Ruby join us? Asked Optimus to his old friend. Rhinox thought for a moment before answering. You remember the Great War with our ancestors the Autobots? Asked Rhinox as Optimus nodded his head yes. Remember that they had the help of the people of that world, so maybe we should take a page out of history and have Ruby be our guide here as well as have her help us. Finished Rhinox as Optimus thought about what Rhinox said. It's true that without the help of the people of Earth then the Autobots might have lost the war. But before he could think about it anymore, Cheater got everyone attention. Hey, what's that down there? Asked Cheater as everyone looked down at a weird standing stone formation. Seeing it, everyone looked over to Ruby for answers. Seeing everyone look at her, Ruby wondered why until she realized why. Oh, that a safe ring. See, when people are being chased by Grim they can run in there and be safe. For some reason Grim will never step foot in it, explained Ruby as Optimus rubbed his chin in thought. How many of these things are there? Asked Optimus as this world got even weirder for him. Ruby thought about it for a bit before answering. No one knows for sure, but they are scattered all over the world, said Ruby as it gave the others something to think on. Unfortunately for them they did have much time to think on things. Heads up, cried Cheater as the others looked up and saw Pterosaur and Waspinator coming their way. Waspinator terrorize, said Waspinator as he transformed with Pterosaur following his lead. Pterosaur terrorize, said Pterosaur as he transformed and the two of them dived at the Maximals. Seeing them coming, the Maximals all transformed and got ready to fight. Defensive positions, ordered Optimus as they got ready. What about him? Asked Rattrap as he pointed his gun at Dinobot. He's with us, said Optimus. Hey, I ain't buying just cause you say so, said Rattrap, keeping his gun on Dinobot. Luckily the conversation didn't go any farther due to them being under firing. Everyone then took cover behind some nearby rocks and returned fire on the two flyers. But the two were too nimble and fast to get a good lock on. And all the fire made the rocks above them to come loose. One good blast could make them all come down. Hold your fire, we could start an avalanche, said Optimus, seeing what could happen. You've crossed your wires, they're coming back, said Rattrap as the others waited for Optimus' orders. Seeing no choice, Optimus looked back to everyone. I'll handle this, said Optimus as he activated his jetpack and turned on his back missiles. Luckily the two Predacons were starting to suffer from Energon field build-up, but still continued to fire. Optimus then fired both missiles that flew between the two. The missiles then caused an explosion between them, sending them in separate directions. The two regained their balance and knew that they needed to rejoin with Megatron and flew off. Dinobot, seeing this, wouldn't let two enemies get away like that. Now while they are weak, said Dinobot has fired his laser at the two. Each shot missed, but the shockwaves for the blast caused some of the rocks above them to fall. Little did Ruby know that one of the falling rocks was about to hit her, if Cheater didn't jump and push them both out of the way. Seeing that, Rattrap made his way over to Dinobot, who watched as Cheater helped Ruby up. "I knew it, yet traitor, yet tried to kill Ruby," said Rattrap as he jumped Dinobot, knocking them both to the ground as Rattrap put a gun to Dinobot head. "Once a pred, always a pred," said Rattrap as he got ready to pull the trigger, only for Optimus to stop him. "Ease off, Rattrap," said Optimus as he landed. "It was an accident," finished Optimus. "Says you," countered Rattrap. "That's right, says me," said Optimus as he put a face in Rattrap's. "You want to question my orders one more time," finished Optimus as he poked Rattrap's side. "I don't trust Predacons," said Rattrap as he got off Dinobot. Dinobot then took the gun out of his face and stood fully and looked down at Rattrap. "We've got enough problems with Megatron's crew, with fighting amongst ourselves. Now come on," said Optimus as he walked toward the Energon mountain, with the others soon following. Vale, Patch, Energon mountain. At the mountain, the Predacons were already making their way up it and were going to get there first. "So much Energon. Yees. I can almost taste its power," said Megatron as he got closer to his goal. "The Energon fields would destroy us in robots in less than a minute. We will have to stay in beast form," warned Tarantulas before continuing. "And Optimus and the Maximals are coming. They must stay in beast form as well. The main concern is that local with them. Deal with it how you see fit, but I will deal with Optimus myself," said Megatron as he continued on. Meanwhile, the Maximals made it to the mountain from the other side. Optimus had Ruby stay back in case the Energon affected her somehow. She wasn't happy about it, but she followed his order, something he was glad for. Meanwhile, the other Maximals reached the top as well and looked around at the Energon. But it was short-lived because Megatron jumped up from the other side and roared at them. Soon both sides were looking at each other, getting ready to strike as they stared at each other. Across the galaxy it has come to this, Optimus Primal. Face to face, tooth to claw, yees. "Have you anything you wish to say?" said Megatron as he continued to glare at his enemy. "I'd say that's prime. Let's do it," said Optimus before he yelled as he and the Maximals charged at the Predacons, with Predacons doing the same. Soon both groups clashed and broke apart for individual fights. Optimus and Megatron stayed in the middle of the mountain as Optimus gave Megatron a hard right punch, knocking him for a loop. Meanwhile, Cheater was taking on Waspinator. Waspinator stayed in the air to avoid Cheater, but Cheater jumped him and brought him back down. Dinobot was taking on Scorponic, as Dinobot tried to bite Scorponic while Scorponic was trying to cut him with his claws. Rhinox tried to run over Pterosaur only for him to move out of the way the last minute and crash into a boulder. Tarantulas tried to jump Rattrap only for Rattrap to jump on him and pull on his fangs. Back with Optimus and Megatron, Megatron charged at Optimus, knocking him to the ground. He then tried to bite Optimus's head off and Optimus tried to stop him. "Omit defeat Maximal, the Energon shall be ours," said Megatron as he continued to try to overpower Optimus. "Not if I can help it," said Optimus as he flipped Megatron over him and causing his head to get jammed in some rocks. Megatron tried to get out but he couldn't. "Surrender, Megatron. You're trapped," said Optimus as he got up. "No, you shall not defeat me," said Megatron as he continued to try to pull himself free. With one mighty turn of his body, Megatron got free, surprising Optimus as he then charged at Optimus. Optimus tried to stop him only to be pulled along with Megatron before slamming him into a rock. Keeping the momentum, Megatron bite down hard onto Optimus' left leg. Optimus was able to get Megatron off him, but the bite did a lot of damage to Optimus' leg and it was now showing wires and circuits. Optimus then grabbed Megatron by the tail and spun him around before letting go, slamming him into the rock wall. Optimus could barely stand due to the damage on his leg and was forced off his feet. "It is over, Megatron," said Optimus, putting on a brave face. Meanwhile Megatron was standing and wasn't happy at all. "It is never over, new," said Megatron as he transformed into robot mode. "For if I must die then I shall take you with me," continued Megatron as the Energon fields were already affecting him. As Megatron took aim at Optimus and was ready to fire a missile at him, but then he saw rose petals and next thing he knew Ruby had crescent rose inside mode and slashed at his tail spear making his missile miss Optimus and hit the Energon instead. The effect were instant, the crystals were all shaking and making a weird noises causing the fights to stop and look at what was happening. "It's going to blow," cried Rhinox as many of them looked on in fear. Meanwhile Ruby who was helping Optimus up was worried how big the blast was going to be. "Time to fade heroes," yelled Cheater while Megatron could barely move due to the Energon fields. Ruby helped put Optimus onto Rhinox back as the three of them raced away from the mountain. Just when the mountain was about to blow up somehow Megatron got up and jumped out of harm's way. Oh 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 oh. Vale, Patch, Maximal's location. Luckily for the Maximals they got just far away from the mountain as it blew up, but that didn't mean they could avoid falling rocks though. After the last rock came down Ruby looked over to Rhinox. "Glad you were wrong about it blowing up the whole island," said Ruby with a relieved look on her face. "You can never know how Energon is going to act when detonated," said Rhinox with a shrug. Optimus then looked over at Ruby with an annoyed look of his face. "I thought I told you to say back," said Optimus as Ruby shrunk by his gaze. But before Optimus could say anything more Dinobot spoke up. "It's true she disobeyed your orders, but it was to save you," said Dinobot causing Ruby to look at him in shock. "That's true and since you're not a member of my crew, this will have to do," said Optimus as he lowered himself to Ruby's gaze and put a hand on her shoulder. "Thank you for saving my life. As a token of my appreciation will you join the Maximals and be our guide here?" said Optimus shocking Ruby and the others. "Of course, after all my parents taught me to help others and the best way to help others is to stop the Predacons," said Ruby as Optimus nodded his head and Cheater got a huge smile on his face. "Yeah this is sweet and all, but Megatron is gone and so is the Energon. So, it's over. Can we go home now?" asked Rattrap hoping he would say yes. "No Rattrap for now we're stranded here with the Predacon on Remnant. Megatron may be back and from what Ruby told us there is a lot more Energon on this world. If they ever get enough, they could conquer the galaxy," said Optimus as he looked forward away from the group. "So, for now let the battle be here, on the world of Remnant, and let it be called Beast Wars," said Optimus as he raised his fist in the air, but before they could say or do anything else they heard an engine. Looking up they saw three bullheads heading to what's left of the mountain. "What are those?" asked Cheater as Ruby got a worried look on her face. "They're bullheads, transportation for us," said Ruby as she looked at Optimus. "Optimus can I ask for a favor?" said Ruby as Optimus raised an eyebrow. "Oh oh 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 oh." Vale, Patch, Rose, Zeo Longhouse. Yang was in a really bad mood. After finally calming the people down she, her uncle and dad all went to that weird glowing mountain only for it to blow up for some reason. The worst part was she never found Ruby. She was worried she got caught in that explosion and was hurt somewhere. As she entered her house with her dad, they were shocked to see Ruby sitting at the table looking over Crescent Rose. If they looked out the window beside her they would have seen Optimus in robot mode flying away. "Hey guys how was your day?" asked Ruby as if nothing happened. Her father then rushed over to her and checked her over making she was okay. "Ruby, where were you?" demanded Yang as she walked over to her sister. "I was testing some new parts on Crescent Rose and I've even made new friends," replied Ruby though half of what she said was a lie. Optimus told her not to reveal their existence to anyone, even her family. "Well I'm glad you're okay, but you're grounded for a week for scaring us like that," said her father with a stern look of her face. Ruby was surprised and looked over to Yang for help only to see the same look on her face as well. Knowing there was no way out Ruby slumped down into her chair. "I would rather fight Megatron than deal with this," thought Ruby as she looked out the window. And this is the end of part 1 of this new What If. I hope you guys like it. Don't really leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel.